thank you for tuning in to this week's Just Ball Things. If you're catching us on the podcast, remember to give us a rating and review. And now, on with the show.
Shut up and sit down.
This week on JBT Pod. Although we are still in the NBA off-season, that does not stop the rumours, the speculation and the hot takes from firing. Join us as we pull apart some of the hot takes for ourselves, such as Draymond Green and his future at the Warriors, whether the Knicks are unwise to stretch Noah's contract, and whether LeBron will be eclipsed as the best player in basketball. Will the Luka Doncic Mavs finish higher than the Grizzlies this season? And disregarding LeBron or MJ, who's your GOAT? So shut up, sit down, because JBT is about to begin. Good morning, afternoon, or evening from wherever you're listening across the world. Welcome to an off-season edition. Again, yes, we're back of Just Ball Things. With me today from Melbourne, he's sitting next to me again.
Back here.
Love it having you in the studio here,
Thanks,
even
mate.
if it is my bedroom. Jack Manuel. J-Man, Jack Manuel, how are you, mate?
Is that what Chelsea calls it? The
Exactly,
studio?
the studio.
She walks in.
Because we film a lot of stuff in here. No, we definitely do not. And I would not want to
Have video evidence of such activities?
Yes, we are gross. I am not an attractive man. My name is Nick Busink,
Yeah,
and
it
I
is.
am not an attractive man. I've got two bits of news, Jackie boy.
Go.
One, I have surgery tomorrow, so this will be last JBT for, well, another 2 weeks. So I guess that's still keeping to the...
Hashtag pray for Nick.
Yeah, pray for me. Just get my tonsils out, nothing too serious, but first time under anaesthetic.
Looking
So
forward to the
exciting.
ice cream.
The jelly, the ice cream, like...
Is that your diet?
I've got soups on the way.
Is that your diet anyway?
I mean, I basically...
Yeah.
It's just, you just need to liquefy me steaks
We've done
and
some...
chicken.
I think we've done some like soups. Talked about soups in season 1. I remember.
Did we?
I remember speaking about like
Well, there you
potato
go.
soups
We'll have
or it was relation to J.R. Smith.
We'll have to rehash
remember how
some,
J.R.
soup
Smith
oh, yeah, because he threw the soup.
and we talked about the best throwable soups.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Fun times. Let us know your favourite soups.
Campbell's
guys.
Chunky. Could you throw the can? Soup's on,
Fat boy at the J-Man JBT at JBT Nick. Send him some love.
Second bit of news.
Yes, twosies.
The new World of Warcraft expansion comes out tomorrow.
Wow.
And I'll be in hospital.
So,
So I'm not going to be able to play.
Do you have a portable device that'll allow you to access it?
I do not. We are working on my device right now.
Disappointing.
It is disappointing because everyone
But
else...
you'll have 2 weeks
everyone
off to
else will
play
be-
it, though.
I've got 2 weeks off anyway.
Well,
without the...
True.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting times in my life.
Yeah.
So
Anyone also listening who is in the engineering field, at JBT Nick, let's hit him up. jbtpodcast@gmail.com.
go fund me. Let's get me employed.
Yeah, let's. I mean, we were going to get him a cheeky Nana's cup a while ago. That didn't work out. So let's get him a real job. Nick's doing well. He's killing it. Dominating life as always. And let's hope those tonsils come
Heal
out
up nicely.
smoothly. Yeah.
They get lasered off, Jack. It's cool.
Lasers.
Yeah, it's like they laser it off, so it's like they're not cutting, and so because
Wow.
the laser like singes the thing, and it keeps. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Modern medicine. Nick,
I'm not a doctor.
you got to explore a new field, mate. get around it. Modern medicine, ladies and gentlemen, but definitely not so medicine-y is the Busey Manuel scale. There's a
Swagway.
yeah, that wasn't the best. That
That was a terrible segue.
well, I'm normally good at them. But for those who are new, I'm going to say it this time. This is a JBT scale created by us. Sums up how likely things are to happen in the NBA. We've done this a bit. If you've listened, this is the first time. You'll get the hang of it. We hope you do anyway. We scale it on alternative fact, alternative fact, Wikipedia fact, and straight up fact. We're going to start off with some news from Andrew Sharp of Sports Illustrated. Draymond Green won't be on the Warriors by this time next year. That is a quote from his article on SI.com. Nicholas, give me a take. Give me a Busey Manuel scalesies.
It's too hard to say. Like, I don't want to be that guy that
It's
sits...
hot, mate, but this is the hot takes.
I
Let's do it.
don't want to be the guy that sits on the fence, but like...
You're going to go in the middle.
Three years ago or so, who would have thought that Kevin Durant would be coming to the Warriors? You know, like, dynasties,
Evolve.
evolve, rise and fall.
Yeah.
As they do.
Yeah.
I would not like to see them disband.
Yeah.
In the sense that they have an amazing thing going. And why
the finger thing means the taxes. Literally, the luxury taxes
Yes.
for Joe Lacob. I feel like Principal
But, like,
Skinner.
if it's a matter of your career and the accolades, because that's what determines your career, it's not the amount of
The
dollars
legacy
that you
and
make.
stuff. Yep.
I mean, that's what's important, is it not? I mean, I'm not an NBA player.
Clay and
But
Draymond
yes, they
have
sacrificed
sacrificed so much.
They have.
Even
what they
KD.
can do. So it's only a matter of time before that takes a toll.
And is
So
Draymond the first pin to
is
fall?
Draymond the first? Maybe. I think maybe Clay's the first.
You reckon Clay to LA?
Draymond is a very loud voice in that room. Like, he
And
epitomizes the Warriors,
and that's
whereas Clay doesn't.
And that's one of the reasons why Andrew Sharp said he can be a grinding presence, and
be,
does
yeah.
that get to the point where it's...
Back to that argument we had, mate. Who's better?
Okay,
Draymond or Clay on a different team?
I'm putting this poll out tomorrow, all right? just to settle it for me and Nick. We'll get OTG, all the staff and stuff on it. Who would you rather build a franchise around, Draymond or Clay? Nick is in Team Draymond. I'm in Team Clay. We'll discuss that after. We might do it in 2 weeks' time, once we've given the poll some time, some breathing space. But where are you going on the scale for this before I have my thoughts?
I'll give this one a Twitter fact.
Yeah.
Because I'd think it's more on the not going to happen side.
Right.
But I can see a situation where that team's going to dissolve
It has
eventually.
to. It has to. I mean, all things
But
come to an
personally,
end.
I think Clay is going to be the first one.
So if you're ranking,
First
because
domino to fall.
there's KD to New York, rumours swirling around, KD leaving as well. Obviously, he signed that 1 year deal, not a long extension as many may have expected. So if you're ranking, you're going Clay, Draymond, KD, or Clay,
Yeah.
KD, Draymond?
I don't even think Steph should be in that conversation.
No, because he's got that 4 year
Yeah, yeah.
Supermax. So obviously he's the outlier.
I mean, they did the same thing with the Clippers. He signed 5 years Supermax and
oh, well,
got
yeah,
rid
but
of him.
Absolutely. I mean, you can obviously sign those deals. But for me, I'd probably... It's hard to sort of say, because everyone's sort of talking about the narrative for KD and the fact that if he...
Well, yeah, it's a big thing.
If he wants to change his career trajectory and the way he's remembered as an NBA player, because obviously, he likes to have a go at the naysayers and such, maybe he thinks, okay, I'll try and win a championship out in Brooklyn, out in New York, out in the Apple. But for me, I'm going to give this probably one more above. I'm going to give it a wiki because I agree with a lot of the points that Andrew Sharp has made. And for those that don't know, he is also a Wizards fan. So Nick's
Wiz Nation.
But Draymond Green somewhere else. The best version of Draymond Green is on a good team. Whereas I can't see Draymond Green being a leader without another Steph, without a LeBron, without a Kawhi.
But that's more says to the point of his NBA skill.
Yeah.
Like, his skill alone can't carry an NBA team, but Clay's got like oodles of skill.
Yeah.
But doesn't have a bone of leadership in his body.
We don't know
And
that, though.
We do know that, Jack.
Have you seen
He
him?
is placid.
Have you seen his leadership skills with his dog Rocco? Those paternal skills from Clay. Have you seen him along China, mate? I think China
Clay.
But I'm gonna give this a wiki because I think if I'm ranking them, I would almost go KD, Draymond, Clay, purely based on the fact, basically the opposite to you, because I think KD, there's this inner desire for him. He just wants to go, you know what, F you guys. Like, I don't think he's sort of immersed himself, but he sort of like hasn't fully embraced it in ways for me. He's always been sort of like the guy who's the outsider for the Golden State Warriors, in the fact that like he sort of went there because he wanted to win the ring, because that obviously is one thing as an all-time great you need to have. Look at Charles Barkley, look at Malone, look at Stockton, look at the rest. So he's done that. Whereas if he goes somewhere else now, similar to what LeBron's done in going to LA and sort of create a new chapter and maybe cement his status or elevate his status as an all-time player, then I think that's going to have a bigger say for him. KD, if you are the Warriors, you want to keep KD more than any of those three, obviously. KD is an all-timer.
Yep.
KD is going to age well, despite the fact that he said, he's only got 5 years left. He said that, I think, as a throwaway line. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Let us know yours. Let us know. I'll be putting that poll out tomorrow. Draymond v. Clay.
Team Draymond, people.
Team Clay. Hashtag Team Clay. Trying to Clay. Think of Rocco, guys. Think of Rocco. But, Nicholas, speaking of the Knicks. Yes, I got a good segue. The Knicks will be unwise to stretch Noah's contract rather than letting him stay on the roster next season. For those that haven't seen the rumblings around, reported by, I think, ESPN, Ian Begley, and some other reporters around New York, was sort of saying that they want to stretch Noah, get him off the roster, free up that roster spot. Knick's film school had a nice tweet in relation to this. The benefits of stretching Noah. One, it removes the sort of locker room issue. He had that with Hornacek. Whether that's different with Fizdale, who knows. Gain that roster spot. Potential money he may give back in a buyout. And also gain $12.9 million in 2019 space when they could use that to maybe go after a KD, maybe even a second superstar. Obviously, even use that money for Kristaps as well and his extension. The cons of stretching Noah. It stretches cap hits 2 more years. I don't know if you really need that extra $12.9 million in cap space right now, and you could obviously maybe do a trade possibly later if you can. He has even some form of a season where he reforms his value. Now it's unlikely.
I mean, that's the key, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I think that I'm on team you keep him in the sense that you don't need to. You can easily do this same deal, this same stretch.
Even if they do stretch it, what's the chances that they'll sign another point guard? I think that's pretty high.
A 5-point guard lineup. I'd love that shit. And all of them, no one's like above 6'4", yeah. They love their point guards out in New York. I mean, we need the floor generals, Nicholas. But I mean, I'm with straight up fact for this because I think it would be unwise to do that. The cons outweigh the pros. Yes, there are some pros to it, but I think Joakim Noah and those 2 3-pointers he made in that Twitter video.
I mean, he's an all NBA defensive player.
He was like a triple-double threat on a nightly basis. Remember in Chicago? 4th in MVP, I think it was.
Like, fair enough. Your centers have changed, no doubt. I think he's an undersized center as well.
Yeah, I think he's like 6'10" or something.
Yeah. And if you're going to be an undersized center, you need to shoot.
Yeah, but he did, Nick. You've seen those videos, mate. Did you see them?
I saw those videos. 2 threes in a row with a shooting action
worse
that
than
was
Draymond?
uglier than...
Yours is not bad. Did you see?
Not my shot, my face.
You know, everyone bags Draymond's shooting action because it's like everyone says it's like he's got a backpack on his back. What do you think is worse? Joakim, in fact, because we saw Tristan Thompson in a video as well shooting threes. If we're ranking the worst actions, I mean...
Draymond's isn't like...
It's not horrible.
Draymond's just looks
hunchy.
Weird.
It's very hunchy.
Yeah, but...
I would go
Joakim Noah's is god-awful.
I would go Draymond. Tristan uses like both his arms in the air. It's like he's doing like the... he's raising them to the roof. It's like he's in a club or something.
What startles me about Noah's... Shots fired. What?
Yes. What fell? Something
fell. That's all right.
I fell.
Don't matter.
It's an earthquake. Earthquake in Melbourne.
What really concerns me about Joakim Noah's action is that
it's pushy.
He pushes the ball with both hands, but he goes backwards with the...
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Look, I don't have the best action, but I agree.
At least you don't go backwards.
I know. I at least stay solitary. I should be going forward, obviously, but I'm working on my jump shot. Joakim is as well, but nothing much has really changed for him.
Yeah, he's not old either.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility that he can find some sort of niche.
Minnesota, mate, they're coming for him.
Some sort of Tibbs. Some sort of niche where he can fit into an NBA team. I don't think he'll ever be a starter ever again, but if he can get solid minutes,
he's
in some role that obviously the coaches know far better than me, but I feel that there is a place for him.
You mentioned his skills earlier that have basically been forgotten, obviously through his time in New York. Like, he was an elite passer as a big man. Like, you know, Al Horford, and Al Horford's probably the best passing big man with Nikola Jokic. He was elite. Defensively, one of the best defensive centers in the league. Passing, all those sort of skills that are low-key can provide something for an offense and a defense and can provide value for a team. Whether that's for the Knicks, obviously in the absence of Kristaps Porzingis, I think he can play some sort of a role. Obviously not alongside Enes Kanter. Obviously both of them are probably polar opposites in many ways. But I did see Enes Kanter shooting some threes and he looked a lot better. But he is a nice shooter and has a nice form. But yeah, definitely keep an eye on that. We'll keep you up to date with the Joakim Noah Knicks news. Make sure as well, Nick forgot to mention, subscribe on iTunes, guys, Blog Talk Radio, all that good stuff. But Nick, via Max Kellerman on First Take, we love these hot takey ones. This, and I quote, "This is the year I believe LeBron will be eclipsed by the end of the season as the best player in basketball, and it'll be by Anthony Davis." Where are we going with this?
it's sort of two-pronged. So
Yes,
do
go
you
for
believe that LeBron will be eclipsed? Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
He's 34 going to
he
this
may
season.
have a down season in the fact that he might not be trying.
Yeah.
In LA, like he might be in retirement mode, and his team's not good enough to really push in the playoffs. So this might be his year of rest and recuperation.
Yep.
Then if he comes back the following season and is amazing, well,
It's LeBron.
it's LeBron again. Like
Yeah.
he will be the best. But
See how jacked he looked though? Like those
no,
muscles.
That's
Oh
just
my
him.
God.
But
The Photoshop was awesome as well. When they made him look
freaking
like.
massive. Yeah. But it won't be if he is eclipsed. It will not be by Anthony Davis.
Who do you think it'll be by then?
Kevin Durant.
Right.
Kevin Durant is the second best player in the competition. Right
Yes. Would you have Kawhi at his best better than Anthony Davis? Because I think we forget about that.
now. I mean, we do.
And he's only 27 as well.
You can't.
It's fun to watch
You
though.
can't pick out a season of someone's career and be like Kawhi at his best.
Yeah.
Kawhi needs to show me that he can be at his best
Again.
for seasons and seasons and seasons.
Yeah. He had two really
Because-
good seasons.
Like, if we're talking a small sample size of their career, Shaquille O'Neal is the best player of all time.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll have a chat about that.
Like, that's if we're talking maybe like even just a season basis,
Yeah. Dominance.
he unstoppable.
Yeah.
But we're not. Like,
could argue
part
for
of part of success, of course,
Sustainability.
is sustainability. And
Davis and the injuries as well has always been one thing.
but Davis has been consistently improving
Yeah.
for the past, since
He's
since
still
his
only
rookie
like
year.
25 or something.
That's what I mean. His playoff performances, his 40, 50-point games that he gets,
Yeah.
he is an amazing talent.
Yeah.
If he can average, like, if he gets a scoring title,
He could
could
definitely
you
be there.
imagine if he it's not beyond the realms of
No, he
belief.
has one of the most versatile offensive
Exactly.
skill sets going around. And is an elite defender.
in a modern NBA with threes and like heavy emphasis on shooting.
Yeah.
If he wins a scoring title,
It'd be
that
insane.
would be
And it'd go a long way to
Undeniable.
getting that MVP possibly.
yeah, exactly, definitely.
I think for the difference is the Pelicans would need to be a top 3 seed for them to get this. And they were amazing last year with it
For
Davis to get
Davis to pass LeBron.
that. And yes. I mean, they would have to be better than the Lakers, number one, because LeBron can prove that he is dominant on a crappy team. But even then, he still brings them to like a 4th seed. And there's questions surrounding the fact that the Lakers, will they even make the playoffs in the West? For me, you can chuck into this argument Kawhi, who I think at his best, and if he has a healthy season, is going to be an MVP contender because him and Giannis are like the sort of locks out east. Joel Embiid has expressed a desire to sort of be in that conversation, and he wants to be in the MVP. James Harden doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. Russell Westbrook, without Carmelo Anthony, he's always going to be around that mark as well. You mentioned Kevin Durant as well, Stephen Curry. If he stays healthy, there is no more dominant player in terms of what he can do. So the MVP, I think, is going to be really intriguing. Some people are already jumping on the Davis bandwagon. Some people are back on the LeBron bandwagon after what he did in the playoffs. And some people are just completely forgetting about James Harden, who I don't see really why he's going to stop. Obviously, maybe the Houston Rockets take a step back, and that might affect them.
But we're talking greatest player in the league right
For
now.
one season, though. For one season,
then-
if
LeBron didn't have the best season last season. James Harden did. Obviously,
regular, but
regular season.
towards the end of the
But that doesn't make James Harden a better player than LeBron.
No, towards the end of the season, though, LeBron put out some performances that were just like, hey guys, remember me? Like the last sort of 10, 15 game stretch, and he played all 82 games. So I think for me, for Anthony Davis to be in this conversation, I'll give it Twitter because I think he's around the mark and he will be, top 3. I think. Obviously, coming closer to the start of the season, we'll be doing our previews and stuff, in a couple of months, but a lot can change between then. But
when those performances start translating into wins,
yeah.
because I think that's. I mean, they had a great season last season.
Yeah.
Pelicans. Don't get me wrong, but if they have a top 3 player in the league,
Yeah.
which I believe that they do,
Yeah. And he's
they
only
need
getting.
to, they need. He's only getting better.
Yeah.
But they need to translate that into wins, and I think that's why he gets.
I like what they're doing though. A
little bit
I don't
shafted.
mind their roster, and I think on OTGBasketball.com, one of the hot takes for the Hot Take Marathon that we were discussing was that the Pelicans make the finals. I think that was by Jacob Hershon. So
The whole finals.
yes, the
Goddamn.
no,
They've got a lot
so the Western Conference Finals. I misspoke, but Nicholas, another team who will be around that mark, and this was David Griffin on Howard Beck's podcast. He believes that the Utah Jazz are the second best team out west. Did you give your take on the Anthony Davis one? I gave it Twitter.
Alternative.
Alternative, all right. Oh wow, that's not even.
He's not eclipsing one, and it wouldn't be Anthony Davis too. Like it's double. That's double alternative.
Fair enough.
Like,
Fair enough.
If anyone takes that crown from the king, it'll be KD.
Sans' alternative is Interpol on a wet night in Stoke. I don't know why I said the wet night in Stoke. But Nick, the Utah Jazz are the second best team out west, according to David Griffin. What do you think? Is he tripping?
I mean,
we said
he
the
knows
Pelicans.
he knows his stuff, but second best team in the West.
So it's Golden State Warriors and the Pack. We know that. Houston
Houston
New
lost.
Orleans.
I reckon Ariz is going to be a massive loss for them.
Bar Mute regular season wise
Yeah,
as well.
like-
their defensive identity is collapsing.
But Capella, there's a lot of things. I should have more faith in D'Antoni. He's given me no reason.
Oh,
to
absolutely.
To send
Doubt
me a
him.
little. Yeah, exactly. To doubt him.
Yep.
Jazz at the second.
I think
Can you
it's.
imagine? Just picture the standings right now, and just say Utah Jazz number 2.
I don't think it's crazy.
That is crazy.
But I did a take for the Hot Take Marathon, and I personally believe that the OKC Thunder are the second best team. I think the Rockets took a step back, and they didn't take really any steps forward. Melo, you can say what you will about him. Ennis, he might add a little bit. He might be a Trevor Ariza light. DeAnthony Melton, I think, was a nice pick in the draft. But I think that they lost too much to be a juggernaut in the regular season. Now, you can say what you want about playoffs. When it comes to that, you can obviously chuck in the fact that, Harden and Paul have become proven performers there. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that this is out of the realms of possibility. But if I'm ranking them right now, they would probably be my 4th, maybe 3rd. I'd probably go Warriors. I'm going Hot Take. I'm all in on Thunder. I always have been. I'll go Thunder, then Rockets, then Jazz. I just like the internal development. I think a healthy Rudy Gobert, when he was injured, they were trash. When he was back, they were defensively unstoppable in the modern NBA, and they won 27-9 or something. I remember we did some pieces on them. They were
forgetting about
Donovan.
Donovan, no doubt.
Thringles.
But
Thringles, mate.
Thringle
Bell.
Let's take a couple thousand steps backwards.
Well, I'll be in Altona North by then, mate.
And let's think about who are the teams that made the playoffs last season. You're forgetting about the Timberwolves that aren't exactly going down.
I think they are.
Okay, touche. Blazers.
I think they are.
I do think that they are on the way down.
Denver will go
But
up.
then, yes, then you've got
And the Lakers, obviously.
like Lakers, but to the point of challenging that top 4,
part,
probably
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
But you've got teams like Pelicans that are going to be better.
Yeah.
I don't think
Pelicans
I
or
don't think
Jazz?
the Rockets. I don't think the Rockets are going anywhere out of that top 4.
No. But I'll put Pelicans or Jazz for you. What do you think? Is Davis?
Pelicans.
See, I'm not.
Drew Holiday in the playoffs, Jack.
Yeah, he was insane. I want to see. For me, that as a regular season matchup, and the schedule has come out, guys. I'm penciling that in, and that is a game that I must watch. I think that's going to be really fascinating to see. The sort of Davis on Gobert matchup, the Mitchell on Drew Holiday matchup. These are sort of two teams that we could see dethrone the Warriors once their dynasty has unraveled, as we sort of spoke about earlier, because they have a young enough core in terms of their stars. Gobert's barely 25, 26. Same with Davis. Donovan Mitchell's a sophomore. So I think that there's internal growth for both of those teams that is insane. Julius Randle's nice. Drew Holiday is by no means over the hill, but he is a criminally underrated player, and we saw that in the playoffs. But I'm going to give this. Again, I'm going to give this Twitter because I think that they're around that mark. Are you going to?
They're not finishing second in any. No.
Timestamp it, Nicholas.
No.
Let's timestamp it.
They are not finishing second in the West.
Jazz fans, let Nick
in
know.
the West.
Let's.
I'm not a huge OKC fan, but I think they're going to be finishing higher.
Okay.
And that's already one team. I think the Rockets will finish higher than them. I think the Pelicans will finish higher
So
than
they're
them.
5th. Are they the 5th best team?
Probably 5th.
Okay. Wow, shade, Utah Jazz fans.
What
JBT
about DeMar for the Spurs? What are the Spurs going to do next season?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the Spurs. We haven't spoken.
I reckon they might snag an 8th seed, but that's
see.
about the height I think
Yeah.
the Spurs will get. But who knows?
Yes,
Coach Pop.
Wait and see. Watch this space. Nicholas, there's been a bit of a mini rookie feud happening. Michael Porter Jr. is right. Luka Doncic is underrated. Now, there are plenty of Doncic fans and stands out there. Michael Porter Jr. is not one of them. He liked to comment on
Of course he's not one of them. Like, no rookie's going to be like, you know what, this guy.
Is this going to be the new? Is this going to be the new like Simmons and Mitchell? But Porter Jr. is obviously not healthy.
Well, no, that's right. And Porter Jr. didn't play his last season of college.
Yeah, he played 2 games or something.
Like, come off it, mate. Let's see how you go in the NBA. At least Luka was playing against men.
And he won the EuroLeague.
Not boys.
MVP.
Exactly, that's what I mean. EuroLeague players, they've got that...
Shanan Musa, baby.
They've got that little bit extra experience, I think, coming in from high school. Because college doesn't set you up for... college sets you up for college ball. College doesn't set you up for NBA.
I think the style of game, college-wise, is becoming more NBA.
It's changing, no
Offense-wise.
doubt. No
Defense,
doubt.
no. Offense, yes. I think that's where Luka Doncic has an upper hand. Everyone talks about his lack of athleticism. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. is going to be basically out for the season. He had a second back surgery, which I think a lot of people are looking too much into as a bad thing. You have another surgery. I think it can clean things up quite well. I think Joel Embiid had some similar things, and I think the second surgery did him wonders. But to say he's overrated, it depends on what you define as overrated. Like, there's a part of me that thinks, like...
Overrated being he's not the...
Rookie of the Year favourite or something.
Yeah, where did he go in the draft again? He went...
Well, the pick swap, with Atlanta. So, I think technically 4th or 5th. But, I think it depends on what you define as overrated.
But he was projected at going, like...
Number 1.
Could have gone number 1. I think Ayton was almost the lock for Phoenix.
I would have taken Doncic personally.
But like he was a projected number 1 pick.
Yes.
Whereas Porter wasn't.
Porter
would have if he was healthy.
Yes, Porter was the number 1 prospect coming out of high school.
Yeah.
But then obviously the back injuries. And obviously he slipped so far to Denver that there was a surprise to everyone.
I think that he is in no position to be talking smack.
But is he overrated though? Like,
is Doncic overrated?
Yeah.
Well, he hasn't played NBA yet.
But that's the thing.
He was extremely rated in Europe.
But that's the thing. Is he overrated by NBA standards? People are already talking to be like the messiah, the next coming of...
Well, you're not going to know if he's overrated by NBA standards until you play. Unless you're an expert in... Like, I'm the expert in how the NBA and the nuances...
The translation of his game.
Yeah, I'm no expert in that. I just know that he is an amazing player. He's got a good shot on him, and he's...
Great passer.
Like, exactly. Like, and he's proven that he can play against grown men.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the hardest things. The physicality of the NBA... compared to college and to an extent European League, like nothing's as fast paced. Nothing's as because a lot of rookies.
These
comment
are the best
on
players
speed.
in the league.
Yeah, comment on the speed of the NBA. So nothing's as fast, nothing's as strong as the NBA.
Yeah,
but I think the EuroLeague, especially winning it, has a better correlation to the NBA than college does.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, you could argue elements for either, but for me, Luka Doncic is overrated. There's elements of me that agree with this in the sense that, he's like a 58% or something around that range. ESPN predicted him to be the Rookie of the Year. Now, there are some decent rookies in this class. Porter Jr. is one of them. Obviously, he won't be playing. Jaren Jackson Jr. played a nice preseason, nice summer league. Wendell Carter Jr. as well. DeAndre Ayton, he was the number 1 pick, so surely that should make him in that conversation as well.
I mean, and Phoenix are going to be wanting to use him as much as possible, and that's another thing.
Trae Young as well could be in that mark.
Yeah, you could be the best rookie in your class, but if you go to a team that
isn't the right fit,
underutilizes you,
you won't get the.
Then you're not going to get, you're not going to get that Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, look. I'm leaning.
I mean, my tip's Ayton, and I think that's like a pretty standard pick.
I think, but he's the second favorite. Like I said, Doncic is the very heavy favorite. He would be my favorite as well. When we do our previews, we'll give you a bit more information and our sort of reasons behind it. But
Simmons will win it because it doesn't matter what. Simmons he deserved that. I just want to. That was sarcastic.
Yeah.
But he actually does deserve it. That's not sarcastic.
Yes. All right, Nicholas. Speaking of hot takes, OTG currently off the glass. OTGbasketball.com currently has a Hot Take Marathon, which I've contributed to as well. Let's dive into, very quickly, some of the most recent ones. This is one by me, mind you. Memphis will make the playoffs. Is it...
No.
No chance?
No.
With...
West is more packed now. Like, you've got to consider the Lakers are taking that 8th seed now.
Oh, yeah, I mean, but, like, the fact is...
Spurs.
The fact is, like...
Nuggets.
Mike Conley...
Blazers.
The reason of the hot take is to be so... to be extra...
So crazy that it's like, maybe it just might work.
And that's why I said Memphis will make the playoffs. Because I don't know, I've got a sneaking suspicion...
I can't foresee...
Kyle Anderson,
can't see it.
Jaren Jackson...
Can't see it, mate.
Mike Conley, Mark
New
Gasol...
coach?
Yeah, it's not a new coach. It's actually one of the
Oh,
of the worst coaches, JB Biggerstuff. He actually does get criticised roundly. So, but
So that helps your hot take.
so give me something on the Busey Bamel for that one. Alternative fact.
Alternative. There's too many better teams.
Well, I wrote it, so it's a fact. But this one was probably one of the ones that's got plenty of sort of hype on the Twitter and the like. Neither Kyle Lowry nor Kawhi Leonard will end the season in Toronto.
So Kawhi signs,
Traded.
plays half a year, and gets traded.
Traded at the deadline. Kyle Lowry traded at the deadline. Bang, rebuild. Let's go with this thing.
But then why make the trade in the first place?
I mean, because you take that risk. DeMar DeRozan, you're gonna have to give another max contract to after this one. They want to go full rebuild, maybe with Fred VanVleet, Delonte Wright, get added some picks and stuff. Any credence? Alternative? I love the
both.
the cojones of
Not
it.
both.
But one maybe.
One maybe.
Who's more likely? Kawhi?
It just...
Who's going to take that Kyle Lowry contract of like $33 million a year
Yeah.
for a 32?
I think Kawhi's more likely, but it doesn't sit right to me.
Yeah.
You sign someone, you trade away your best player to get Kawhi Leonard, and then you trade him halfway through the season. It just doesn't sit right with me. But,
No, I mean
it definitely can happen.
funnier things have happened, and this one was written by one of our newer writers, Cam Tabatabe. I'm sorry if I'm saying it right. Wrong, mate. I'm not the best with names, but our next one was done by Dylan Jackson, head of draft content at OTGbasketball.com. We're talking a little bit about Luka Doncic and the Mavs. The Mavs will make the playoffs. No chance. Who's more likely, Memphis?
Wrong.
Wow. Who's more likely, Mavs or Memphis? Out of you got to say I'm right. I'm your co-host, mate. Come on, give me something. Conley.
That's a tough one.
Who's got the...
Yeah,
great...
but what did Memphis pick up this year? Like
Jaren Jackson was a nice piece. Kyle Anderson, they added in as a wing rotation player.
That's right.
And I think Garrett Temple as well.
What happened? I'm out of sorts.
Gasol?
No, not Gasol. The Tyreek.
Tyreek is with Indiana now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But they got Garrett Temple to sort of replace him in a way.
Mate, Garrett Temple played for the Wizards. Don't rate him.
Took one in the temple.
Don't rate him. Nah, Mavs. Who's finishing higher? Mavs over Memphis.
All right, Dylan, you can have
Like
Nick.
you said, Bickerstaff is like
Rick Carlisle's a better coach.
Exactly.
Much better coach. All right,
and Luka Doncic as well. Like they'll finish high.
Dylan, you can have Nick on your Rookie Report podcast from now on. He's not going on JBT anymore. This one for me, I actually did a piece as well for NBA analysis.
Fact.
Where's Arena?
Fact, Jack.
Where's Arena?
Fact.
I did a piece for NBA analysis. I'm a new writer there on Hassan Whiteside having a reformed year of sorts. Hassan Whiteside will be an all-star next year via Jorge Cantu. Are you giving this some love?
I love Hassan Whiteside.
Where's
I have for a
Arena?
while. He hit that. Ever since I saw that Snapchat, he hit that three. It's just because I'm not allowed to take threes doesn't mean I can't.
I put that video in my piece. I put that in my piece.
I love that. Sassy.
Yeah. Sassy.
It's just he had fallen so out of favour.
Yeah.
And like rightly so, he was playing like trash. But I think that he is young enough and skilled enough to
Get his name back up there.
Yeah, not so much well, I was going to say redefine, but not so much redefine as
Change his
sorta,
game, elevate his
just
game.
alter and because he's
Hone.
hone on what he's already good at and then expand.
Yeah.
I think he is good enough and young enough
Yeah.
to he's not stuck in his ways.
No, and for those that don't know, hit up NBA Analysis Network for my piece on that. I did some of the things that Nick was sort of saying. 2015-16, he was a fringe all-star. Very, very close to being there. Similar votes to Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, he was around that mark, really, really close. He had an incredibly dominant season in terms of block, in terms of rebounds. And I sort of mentioned similar things to what Nick was saying, maybe as a 3-point shot, who knows what could happen there. But Nicholas, I mean, this one's got to be a fact for you. I wrote it. I showed you it. I hope you read it. The Wizards will finish with the 3rd seed.
I mean, as far as the hot takes that we've currently had, this is probably...
It's not the
This
hottest.
is probably not the hottest.
It's mild.
It's the least hottest.
So
it's the coldest.
It's the lemon and herbist.
It is definitely... I mean, this is every year with us, isn't it? Like, we could finish 3rd every year.
Yeah.
And every year we don't.
But but the top 3, everyone sort of has set in stone. That's why, for me, it's a hot take. And I produced it as a hot take. But and I sort of took down the Sixers.
Cavs are gone. Toronto won't be there.
Toronto won't be in the top 3.
Not in the... No. It'll be Celtics,
Sixers, Wizards.
I mean, if this hot take happens, I mean,
wow. I think the Raptors are better than the
realistically,
Sixers.
I think the Raptors will finish higher than us.
Yes.
Obviously.
All right.
And I think this is a great year for us, because LeBron has been our bane as well.
Yeah. He's been everyone's bane. Toronto's bane.
Just images of that game winner.
How about that 57-point game? I remember watching that live and chatting to you. That was one of the greatest performances I've ever seen from a player.
He kills us.
Yeah. And then that
whereas
3...
we can deal with the Raptors.
Yeah, I mean, you had a good series against them, despite the fact that you were pretty trash at the time.
Exactly. Celtics, we've got a nice rivalry with, and anything can happen in rivalries.
Yeah, true.
And that's rivalry mainly on our behalf.
Yeah,
because we think that we're better than we are, and we talk shit.
The black suits and wear all black.
Exactly. And it's just like, what are you doing? We're gonna lose this series.
It's fun. I believe in a reformed John Wall. I think on Full Access Hoops we did a sort of breakdown of the sort of top point guards and stuff, and we see him as a rising one, despite the fact that he wasn't really in that sort of top 5, top 3 sort of mark, but he'll grow. And
Dwight is a better acquisition than Marcin Gortat.
I mean, the chemistry on court was really nice between John Wall and Gortat, but the verticality that sort of allows John Wall now to sort of throw up some oops. I think Dwight Howard still has that. And, if he plays the role that he's supposed to, we've said that for the past 4 years. He's been on 4 teams in that time as well. Whether that happens remains to be seen. But, Nick, I'm pushing this for you. I don't think that the Raptors, I think the Raptors are at the 2 seed for me. I think that if you're going to push out anyone, it'll be the Sixers. But that is obviously if Kawhi's healthy. I just think that defensively they can be nigh on unstoppable with their switchability. Whereas the Sixers, I have questions about Simmons, I have questions about Embiid, and I have questions about the depth that they've lost with Bellinelli and Ilyasova. So that's why I think
more Bellinelli than Ilyasova.
I think Ilyasova.
I don't think Ilyasova was that, considering they got rid of him.
Yeah,
was good.
Yeah,
and then brought him back and was still good.
Yeah, but that was a year later.
I don't think that Ilyasova is the impact that Bellinelli definitely. He hit some crazy shots.
Yeah, but Ilyasova as a rebounder and just as a high IQ presence, Bellinelli would jack up some crappy shots, whereas I think Ilyasova.
But they went in. So were they really crappy?
Not all of the time. Not all of the time.
Not crappy for him. Crappy for everyone.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, Nicholas, via the NBA meme squad on Instagram. I didn't know
that was a thing. I'm going to have to follow that.
I follow some weird page on Insta, my friend. Who is the GOAT if neither LeBron or MJ exists? We could do a whole podcast about this. We'll try and keep it quick for you guys. Writer and editor at OTGBasketball.com, Jay Christian, believes it is Magic Johnson. And he actually put a tweet out saying it's Magic Johnson's a GOAT already. But Nick, what do you think?
It is so hard to comment about generational players that you did not see.
Yeah, that's true.
You look back at Wilt's stats and Kareem's stats, and it boggles the mind. Different, I believe,
Oscar
weaker
Robertson as well, yeah.
Weaker player base that
They're
he was playing against.
Plumbers and shit.
Exactly, that's what I mean. So it's so hard to compare and how they would do in the modern NBA.
Yeah.
I think Magic's skills transgress.
You mentioned
time.
Shaq.
Yes, I'm getting to that. I've got a speech lined
I'll get
up.
your spiel. Let your spiel.
I think Magic's skills transcend time and space. So it doesn't matter what era you play in. You play the way that Magic does, and you will find a spot.
He's
same as Nash, same as Jason Williams.
There's a hyped up version of Ben Simmons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And
Ben Simmons' ceiling is like Magic Johnson.
Yeah, I think that it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter what era you play in, that level of creativity is transcendent. Like, shooters will come and go, big men come and go.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm not going to put Shaq there. Like, as dominant as he was... Oh, but that's the thing. He was so dominant.
I don't think that
like,
there
he
was...
had that one... He had the
seasons in
one
LA.
thing... No, he had the one thing he was good at. Big, strong, more powerful than anyone, get to the rack whenever he wanted.
Yeah.
And...
In the modern NBA, that'd be insane. Like, I think the league...
like, no one moves the way Shaq moves with his size.
No. Maybe Embiid.
Like, it was amazing to see these, like, thinner unicorns, like Giannis and KP, like, people that tall shouldn't move move the way they did. And it, it's the same thing can be said for Shaq.
Shaq could have been the GOAT. Shaq could have been the GOAT.
But the longevity of his career and the way that he jumped
sustained
around,
greatness,
and like he got fat.
You could,
like Orlando Shaq is lean,
Yep.
trim, but like
Boston
300 pounds.
Yeah.
Like,
you could argue that peak, like you mentioned, peak Shaq, there is no better player. But when taking into account the GOAT conversation, you have to take into sustained greatness.
Yeah, of course.
Which is, I think, why I would probably have Kareem. Maybe I'm a center favorite, and why not? But Kareem's sustained greatness is underrated.
I mean, it's the creator of
Milwaukee,
creator of the skyhook as well, like an unguardable shot,
unstoppable
that he had perfected. And it's like, what are you supposed to do?
Everyone has a signature, and he has a signature move that players are emulating to this day, like 30 near 40 years later. I love him and Magic. Obviously, were a match made in heaven. But I just think he was just so good for so freaking long. In Milwaukee and in LA, and I think that's underrated. And I think because he has the personality, sort of like maybe like a Ben Simmons, where it's a very understated. He didn't want the limelight. He wasn't Magic. Magic craved the limelight. He thrived in it. Whereas Kareem was sort of seen as this like unfriendly superstar. And we know his personality now, and he is one of the most intelligent NBA pundits and former players going around. So for me, I'm going to have Kareem for the reasons you've said and for the reasons I've stated. But Magic is certainly around that conversation. Larry Bird is certainly around that conversation. Let us know, you guys, jbtpodcast@gmail.com. We can do a whole episode about this. At the JMan JBT, at JBT Nick, hit us up. At OTG Basketball if you want to hit up there as well. But Nick, before we move on to off topic, explain to our listeners what Fortnite is, okay? Because it's not only all the rage with the youths, every school I go to,
they're all about Fortnite.
They're all about it. I've heard nothing but like plenty of conversations about it today while I was working. But NBA players, including Gordon Hayward, are getting on board and the bandwagon. So give us a little bit of a synopsis. We're not doing anything sort of busy Manueli, but we want to...
For those of you who've been living under a rock over the past year, it is the biggest... I would be willing to say it's the biggest. I mean, they've made billions.
Is it bigger than Minecraft? I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the biggest first-person shooter, definitely.
Yeah.
They've made close to like $1 billion since it.
But how? This is what baffles me. How when the game is free?
The game is free, but the business model I'm a massive fan of. You see it in games like Defense of the Ancients, League of Legends, Guild Wars. Like a lot of these games.
Nick's in his element right now, ladies and gents.
A lot of these games. Guild Wars you actually have to pay for, but it's not a subscription base. But every other game is free to play. You buy these games, and the model that they take is that you pay for cosmetic items.
Right.
So theoretically, you can play for. Like I've played Fortnite, never spent a cent on it.
Yeah.
I've played League of Legends for like 4 years now,
Yeah.
and I may have spent $40 on it maximum.
Yeah.
It doesn't appeal to someone like me to spend money on the cosmetic stuff.
Yeah.
But it's proven to be a massive money-making scheme.
Yeah.
When you're a person who is playing a free game, you are more likely to spend money on that game than you would if it was paid.
Yeah.
So if you paid $80 for the game, $60, $60 for the game,
Yep.
the skins, the mods, everything like that, you may buy them as like little microtransactions, but because you had to pay for the game originally, not as many people are playing this game. So if you've got 50 50 people buy your game, they might do microtransactions. But if your game's free, you attract thousands and thousands of people to play this game, and
South Park did an episode about it.
And then they might spend money on the game.
Yeah, South Park did a whole episode about it. But I think the only exception to that rule is 2K, where people buy the coins and the cards and everything that surrounds it, and so you can make yourself look cool. You can buy new clothes and stuff with your VC and stuff, and you can buy extra VC with your hard-earned cash. I've remained in 2K as my player in that brown shirt that you get and in the black slacks. But guys,
but it's to get you off your feet. Like, that's the main thing. You give your game.
Yeah.
You give your game free, and if you believe in your product, you believe in your game, it doesn't matter that you're giving your game away for free.
Yeah.
Because you know that people will love it, and then they will spend money on it.
Absolutely. And I think it's a proven model, and it's not just Fortnite that has done it. Like you've mentioned, there are other games, there are apps, obviously, that are in the same sort of market. It's proven, and I think that there's probably going to be plenty of others that will be hit you on the bandwagon. Is Pokemon Go the same?
Pokemon Go has microtransactions, yeah, but most games do. But the microtransactions in Pokemon Go are things that they're more quality of life improvements. So, like, you can buy incubators to make your eggs hatch faster.
Yeah.
You can buy more Pokeballs. You can buy, like, all this stuff you can get for free if you play the game a lot.
Yeah.
Or you can just spend a little bit of money and get them.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't spent money on Pokemon Go because I don't really like microtransactions that much, but I completely understand how they work and why they work.
Yeah, and I mean the demographic that it has proven to work with in terms of like the generation under us. There's talks of Fortnite obsession and Fortnite therapy for kids and I get it. Like, something that is that addictive, it makes sense. But obviously that it's different because our generation, I'm 27, Nick's 24. We were sort of brought up with so much the rapid technological change that has happened from our age. We've seen it, so we can appreciate it and know the power of it. Whereas kids that are born in the past 10, 15 years are born into that. They're born into iPhones. They're born into iPods. They're born into PS4s. We had Nintendos when we were kids. Yeah. And we didn't have the internet. So and I think that's going to be interesting to see how, not only the gaming industry, our sort of medium, podcasting, how all these different mediums progress, because we've grown exponentially as a podcast within 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's you guys that are thankful for that. And, we started off as just us two. We had 20 listens, mainly all our friends. Now, our last episode, thanks to so many of you, wherever you are in the world, America, Vietnam, Australia, England, Europe, wherever, we had our highest listening episode yet. And it's insane to see how this thing grows and how, the technological growth that happens within all the different mediums. But, Nicholas, another thing that has changed rapidly over the time is the decrepit form of Oscars, the Academy Awards. Play that off-topic music for me.
How about we play the basketball?
What the heck are you talking about?
Now the question is, pants or shorts?
Sandwiches, toasted or fresh. He just sits on people.
That is complete shit.
What? What
What the hell is wrong with you people?
Off topic.
Off topic.
Off topic.
Off topic?
Brilliant segue as always, Giacomo.
Always. If you're not airing the violin while you're listening, guys, unless you're driving while you're listening, please don't do that. We want you to live. But yeah, what do we got, mate? What do we got for off topic? Just to end our podcast.
A bit of a quick movie talk.
We love our movies.
So this came about because the Oscars have announced a new popular film category. So we thought we'd chat about the announcement, dive into some of our favourite films of the year.
Yep, who could be in the running for that popular film?
Yeah. So what denotes a popular film?
Yeah,
like that's
Mark Wahlberg came out and said, "I'm looking forward to being able to win." And I'm just like, dude, Transformers was shit,
but it's popular.
I understand.
It's like bloody Teen Choice Awards.
I think it's stupid that I've always been an advocate for movies like Harry Potter. I mean, Lord of the Rings sort of broke that mold to an extent, but like Harry Potter, Black Panther, Marvel movies, all these sort of box office popcorn movies. Put them in the conversation. Black Panther is an amazing film and belongs, alongside The Shape of Water, all those other films. Like, what denotes it from being lesser of a film because it's not about the civil rights movement or about transgender LGBTQ issues.
Yeah.
It's just, I find it silly the fact that the Oscars, the Academy, had to come up with such a trivial thing to bring it some relevance because, I mean, everyone... The cachet of still being like an Oscar award winner, an Oscar award winning picture is huge.
Oh,
I mean, just to have that, like, if you're Leo, if you're Emma Stone, if you're Ryan Gosling.
There are figures, and an Oscar win can mean millions
Yes.
of dollars.
I mean, it sets your career up, Emma Stone, Ryan Gosling transformed himself from being the Notebook chubby kid to being a Hollywood starlet. Like, he is one of the most bankable stars going around. Like, maybe The Rock finally wins a well-deserved... I mean, come on, mate.
If Skyscraper wins anything, I will shoot myself.
Rock's awesome. I love it.
He is, but goddamn.
Rock or Mark Wahlberg, quickly?
The Rock.
But Marky Mark in The Departed?
Marky Mark, I mean...
How's your mother?
So, hold on. Who's a better actor? Who do I like better?
I like The Rock better, but Marky Mark's a better actor.
Mark is a better actor.
But The Rock is, like, on Ballers, HBO show. Check that one out. It's a very popular show. I think he's, like, the highest paid TV actor as well because of that alone.
And that's because who he is. He draws in so many people.
Yeah. People saw Skyscraper.
Yes. People
It's
saw
very
Skyscraper.
popular.
People see San Andreas and actually like San Andreas.
Was it Jumanji?
And it's not because it's not because Paul Giamatti's in it.
Jumanji, baby. I saw that, but I saw it for Jack Black.
Yeah, I mean that was
It was bad, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. There was some like cringy moments, but I love going to the movies. What can I say? But Jumanji probably wouldn't be in that sort of popular film.
Probably not.
But
we're talking the superhero films
Avengers.
for sure, because they are actually so well made, and I agree with you. They should be in some. They should be somewhere in the Oscars.
Like, the only thing that those...
And I think a popular movie is maybe the best place for them, because I don't think that they have the level of script depth that your, like, Shape of Water movies, Revenant, what those movies have, what your Dunkirks have.
It's unless you get Nolan on, or, like, Spielberg on those movies, and then it transforms, like, because Nolan with the Batman franchise is, synonymous. It's a superhero movie. So I assume, like, it has to do with the tone of the film. But I would say Black Panther, obviously Black Panther was last year, would belong in that because it's script, the visuals are insane. Obviously, all these films, the popular films, generally get something for costume or CGI or visual effects. But they deserve more than that. Like,
At the end of the day, I think what gets seen about superhero movies is that they are a stock standard film.
Yeah.
Like, it's a stock standard, and every Marvel movie is the same. There's a good guy, there's a bad guy, you beat the bad guy.
Yeah.
And that it's just the story of you getting there. Where they succeed is that the tone is perfect. Like, Marvel have it's Marvel tone.
Yeah.
And they have created this niche for them in the market that is amazing. And they stick to that. That's fine. They've got their elements of humor that make Marvel movies Marvel movies. Their pace. There's so many things that you just take for granted in a film that things like Batman v Superman do horrendously badly.
Yeah, Suicide
Squad. The pace on that was all over the shop.
Yeah.
All right? You stick to a steady pace. It could be, and I think that most Marvel movies are stock standard scripts.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything too fancy about the dialogue. I don't think there's anything too fancy about the actual story. It's an engaging story about a hero triumphing over evil, and that's fine.
I'll put one to you, though, and we can say modern versions of it or the Lucas versions of it. Star Wars deserves Academy Awards for Best Pictures. The original Jurassic Park, they might have won it, don't quote me on this, but those sort of movies that were old box office movies and are sort of now sort of being, remade and stuff, those movies will probably get an Oscar now, but the old versions are going to be sort of less revered in the sense of awards. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, Solo could get a popular film award, but it is nowhere in comparison to like A New Hope and all of the other ones. I still liked it because, I am insanely in love with Donald Glover, and he is a horribly sexy man and is amazing in everything he does. # This Is America. But what would you vote for? We'll end with this. What would you vote for? Like, we recently saw Mission Impossible. Loved it.
I loved it too. I mean,
the amount of love triangles and
again,
rhombi.
it's the same thing with Marvel. Mission Impossible have this niche
that
succeeded in the first movie, and they just stuck to it. It's a winning formula.
God damn it is.
For
Tom Cruise.
for Mission Impossible.
Yep.
But that does not mean that it is a groundbreaking film. It's not challenging with its dialogue. It's not. It's enjoyable.
But does Tom Cruise not deserve a Best Actor nomination? Like it's the dude puts his body on the line. It does not deserve more recognition than, say, a guy who is just doing a period piece like Daniel Day-Lewis or Joaquin Phoenix.
No, because what was the range of Ethan Hunt in that movie?
Lots.
When did he really show his acting chops?
All of his friends,
he does his own stunts, which is fantastic, and he should get credit for that, because we're talking because that would come into practical effects.
Yeah.
But in terms of an actor, he's an action actor. He's got one sort of role that he performs, and that's not really room for anything. I think that villains have more, villains in
Henry Cavill and stuff.
Villains in those movies have more chance to actually act. I'm
depends.
thinking of Christoph Waltz in Inglourious Bastards, which was a very good movie, completely different. But the villain has a lot more,
and they generally are the
room
one
to
that
move.
gets the nominations as well, Leo as well in Django. But it depends on what you define as good acting, I guess.
Yeah.
In terms of, for me,
and the Academy and they have their definition.
They have their definition. It's Meryl Streep, it's Daniel Day-Lewis. What are you along that sort of scale? And Jennifer Lawrence has become the sort of new scale.
You watch Mamma Mia take 7 Oscars. You watch it. You watch it, mate.
We riot, mate. We riot. We will absolutely, we'll riot on the streets like they did for, I don't know, something. We're not, we're very passive fellows. We enjoy our films, we enjoy our podcasts, we enjoy our basketball.
But we will not be happy about it.
No, will we not? Now, let us know your favourite films of the year, guys, what you think of this and anything on the podcast. Who's going to do the last spiel for the next fortnight?
You
should, because
okay.
you're not going to be.
I'm
You're not going to be
speak. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not going to be able to speak for the next week.
So speak for me, son.
All right, just as ever, I think that does it for another week. So we'd just like to say thank you for tuning in to Just Ball Things. You can always catch us on Apple Podcast, as Jack said before. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Keep up to date with the JBT, and you'll never miss a beat. Blog Talk Radio, we're also on there, or wherever it is you listen to your podcast. We will endeavour to go on Spotify podcasts if we can figure out how to do that.
I think Spotify, they handpick them.
Okay.
The Whoosh pod is on it, some of the Ringer ones. We're not there yet, but we need you guys to make us there.
Exactly.
If we get on Spotify,
if you want to make it easier and have us on Spotify, you need to keep listening to us.
True that.
That's it. Go through the hard yards and you'll be rewarded.
Thank you, sir.
You can contact us at the J-Man JBT, is Jack, or JBT Nick on Twitter. You can also hit up at OTG Basketball. We can read some awesome NBA articles. They've got their own podcasting thing that Jack is part of. So keep listening to those ones. We've got Facebook, Just Ball Things. You can search for us there. jbtpodcast at gmail.com if you want to send us some emails. We will read them out on the pod. Questions, queries, concerns. If you just want to have a bit of a bant session,
yeah, baby,
that is fine by us as well. So remember, it's you guys that make this show great. So we appreciate any and every post heading our way. So until next time,
keep balling, superstars.